Looking for the best super moist, delicious, and butter-based chocolate cake? This recipe is for you. Believe me, my food and life history is giving you the best chocolate cake to bring back your clients. Relax and watch this. So to make this cake, I measured 100 grams of margarine or butter in my bowl and 150 grams of sugar, granulated sugar. You can also use castor sugar. To this, I added 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then I began to cream this together. After the first or initial creaming, I had to now break my eggs. Each of these eggs weigh about 25 grams. So to the buttercream, I added 1 whole egg. And to the other plate you see beside, I had to break this egg and separate the yolk from the albumen, or the egg yellow from the egg white. So I added the egg yellow into the buttercream and then kept the egg white aside. Now I went ahead to cream the whole egg and the egg yolk I added in the buttercream So I creamed and creamed until it is nicely mixed, just as you see in the video. Once that was done, I added 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavor and 1.5 teaspoon of chocolate flavor. So I added these two in the buttercream. Or if you like, you may use only the chocolate flavor, or depending on your choice, but I prefer using the both because of the flavor it gives to this cake. So I went ahead and creamed this together to mix very well. Wow, this is so creamy and beautiful. So I had to set this aside, and I measured out 150 grams all-purpose flour, and to this I added 1 teaspoon baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. So I sifted this together, sift. And here you have your sifted flour. But if you have cake flour, you can use cake flour, then you add your baking powder and baking soda, then set that aside. Now to a separate plate or a bowl, you measure out 35 grams or half cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Then to this, you are going to be adding some water, 165 grams of hot water, or 1/4 cup plus half cup of water. Then you add about 20 grams of chocolate chips. You can microwave this for 20 seconds, or you can dissolve on heat if you're using a stainless steel bowl. Now you're going to combine the flour and the cocoa mix into the buttercream, just in 2 batches, okay? Just in 2 batches. Now to the buttercream, I added the flour or the dry ingredient, then I added some part of the cocoa mix that I just made. Then I'll go ahead and just mix everything or cream everything together. You may also choose to just use your spatula to mix this, so it's all your choice. So once they are mixed, then I added the last batch of my flour and my cocoa mix. So I added everything in the buttercream, and then I mix everything again the last time. This time around, you're not going to cream for too long. You don't going to cream for too long to avoid over mixing your cake batter. Once it's nicely mixed, that's it. So I added half teaspoon of mixed spice. Like I always say, check my channel, or maybe I will be dropping the link in the description section on how to make this mixed spice. Yeah, it's very good. It's a combination of different spices and you're going to love it in your cakes. Okay, so, and I gave you 3 ways you can make this mixed spice. Can you see that? So once that is done, you go ahead and whip your egg white, the egg white that you kept earlier, whip it till a stiff peak. As you can see, when you turn it over, it's not going to fall off from the plate. That is when you know you have a stiff peak. Okay, now you're going to fold this egg white into the cake batter. Just fold it in, and that's that. Delicious. Now transfer, make sure that you grease your baking pan and you line it with baking paper. You can as well line it both sides and bottom, but I only lined at the bottom. So go ahead and transfer your batter into this cake pan. I had like 600 grams of butter thereabouts in my pan. And make sure while you are making all this, your oven is heating. Okay, yeah, your oven is heating. So tap the base of the pan on the work surface before baking to remove air. So I baked at 150 degrees C for 45 to 50 minutes, because after the 45 minutes I just decided to add extra 5 minutes to make it a little bit, dry a little at the top. So that was how I baked. And if you're not using it immediately, let it cool completely, then you can wrap it up and store till when you want to use it. This cake can last for at least 4 days even without refrigeration. Thanks for watching.